part of that is almost your responsibility as a designer to take what may be perceived as unusable material or even waste material and kind of elevate it using good design craftsmanship. Hey, I'm Sebastian Cox and I'm a furniture maker based in Margate, and we make things here from solid British wood. I like the idea of inverting that relationship between man, humanity and the made object, and saying rather than going out to environments and extracting what we need for our needs, we look at what nature is giving us in abundance and make and design things from that. One of the issues that timber has as a material is that it takes a very long time to grow the crop, so it's really difficult for foresters to respond to short-term trends. So we completely reject all of that notion and kind of just work with what the materials are coming out of the landscapes. And a lot of the material that we might use may be deemed only good for firewood by some people. And in fact, we're even, just by the very fact that we only work with solid wood, we're quite an unusual woodwork shop. Most places will be using homogenized veneers imported from around the world, glued onto MDF. We don't work in any of that kind of vein. We're very much about taking the timber, minimal processing, and presenting it in a way which really celebrates the imperfections of those materials and kind of celebrates the sort of natural environment that it comes from. We call ourselves a regenerative design studio. One of the amazing things about the types of forestry that we work with is that they are entirely regenerative. When we harvest timber from the woodlands that we work with, the biodiversity within those woodlands goes up as a result of our extraction. And it's a really, really unusual scenario where human-made objects can positively impact an environment, but that is what happens in managed woodlands. So a number of years ago, I became familiar with Heckles as it was formerly known, and I felt the way in which the business was set up was really resonating with a lot of the things that I was thinking about and doing. So I've been very keen to work with these guys for a long time, and it's super exciting to be invited to make these pieces, which are effectively modular pieces that go into stores on a kind of temporary basis to sort of test the water of a new territory, which is in itself a really exciting design brief. My response to the initial brief was to think about, when we're designing these units for the spaces, how they can bring a little bit of Margate to every store. That was part of the design brief, and my idea was to bring the cliff faces of Cliftonville into every store. And the reason for that is because I feel like the cliffs are the point where the land meets the sea. And if the product is of the sea, or the brand essence is of the sea, and these stores are going to be throughout the UK inland, then having that moment of chalk was a really important moment for sort of forming that defining bridge. So effectively, we've made these beautiful units out of sycamore, which is a really kind of an unfashionable, almost undesirable timber, which grows really abundantly. So we're finding a use for a timber that maybe is less valued elsewhere, kind of elevating the timber in and of itself. It's an entirely regenerative material. And we're combining it with this mixture that we've made using traditional lime, chalk, little bits of coarse grasses from the Cliftonville cliffs, which we foraged, which give it an amazing texture and bind the mixture together really nicely. And we're kind of recreating an artistic impression of the cliff faces of Cliftonville. So there'll be a little bit of that sense of the sea in every store coming in through the furniture.